Hey, Storytimers, welcome back. So I've actually wanted to do this Q&A for a while, but I just didn't feel like it was the right time. But now I think it is because it's the end of the year, and well, I felt like it's the best time to give back something to my viewers because you guys actually engage with me a lot with respect to my videos as well as questions pertaining to my writing. So I think now is the best time to give back. So let me get straight into it. I actually did not get any questions in my last two videos because, well, not because, but those were my second and third story of my novelette series. However, you guys engaged a lot with questions in the first novelette video, so I would answer those. And before I answer that, I wanted to bring something to your attention. Even though I have videos of the second and third stories of the Bittersweet Summer, I have actually decided yesterday to delete the actual stories because I have plans for them, although initially I did not have this major plan for them. But now I think it's the best time to go forth with that plan. So I've decided it's time to just remove the second and third story from my Wattpad account. The first story will remain. However, I will remove maybe the last chapter. So I'm sorry. If it is you guys read it, I'm happy that you guys did. If you guys haven't, well, hopefully you guys see it in bookstores next year or next 2 years. I don't know, whenever it could happen. Fingers crossed. So the questions, not questionnaire. I feel like I'm back in university with all these questionnaires. Oh my god. University messes with your mind. First question is by Jamie Waffles. So, Jamie, thank you so much for your support. You've been here from the very beginning. I can't thank you enough. You're so kind and sweet. So, thank you for always supporting my videos and always commenting, even though I think I forgot like your last two videos, but I will check them. I got a notification of your new video, so I would check that out as well. Okay, so Jamie Waffles. I went to the link you posted and I thoroughly enjoyed it. You are a good writer. Thank you. Have you ever experienced a writer's slump? Yes, many times, and it's very sickening. I can't stress how sickening it is because it's like you have so much to talk about, but you just can't seem to get it out. And I call it a block. It's a writer's block, essentially, and there are three reasons why I personally get writer's block. The first one, it's because of transitioning from one scene to another or from one character to another. And that's because while writing a scene, even if it's a small scene, you internalize the scene, you internalize it properly to make sure that okay, you get things right. And it feels like you spend so much time on just this one character in this particular scene and you feel like you know them so well, but when you finish with that scene and that character and you need to move on to another character in a different scene, it's like you have to relearn the character and the environment all over again, and it's kind of tough to make that transition. So that's one reason. My second reason is um getting the story and characters in check, like making them all work well together. So that usually happens in the initial stages of my stories, where I'm now developing the story itself, the little subplots that come together, where they fit, how the characters fit into the story, and where they come in, where they don't come in, where whatever happens with them, their emotional side of everything. That's where I usually get a writer's slump as well. Because you don't actually sit down and get the entire story in one sitting. That never happens, You can get at least half of the story out, but I don't think you can ever get the full story in its entirety. You may be sitting there for like an entire day or two, plotting and subplotting the story in order to get it in its entirety. So that's the second thing. The third thing is sometimes, like, well, this is more personal as well. So with respect to work, if it is, I have a lot of times I have a lot of work, so that usually cuts my writing streak, and it's work. I can't really do anything about it. By the time I get home, I don't really want to be on the laptop because I'm on the desktop a lot at work, so I try to avoid that. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not the right time. Whenever I have to write it properly, I will, and I just let that flow. But guys, if you please, I urge you to check out Jamie Waffles' channel because it's really great. You would enjoy it. It's very funny and it's smooth sailing. You would like it. So I would really appreciate if you did check out the channel and subscribe and like her videos and comment, engage with her. That'll be really great. Okay, so the second question is by Alex is over it. So, Alex, I would like to thank you very much. You've been very supportive from the start, and I really appreciate everything you've done for me with respect to my YouTube as well. And I couldn't have done it without you, so thank you very much. So, um, oh, before I mention his question, I would just like to tell you guys, for my viewers again, this is another channel you guys should check out. Please, please, I urge you to. You will really enjoy his channel. It's very sarcastic and witty in a sense. I don't know, maybe you guys may get it, but it's really amazing. He has a really amazing channel. So I would really appreciate if you check out his channel, subscribe to it, like his videos, comment. Yeah. So, okay, Alex is over it. Hey Assad, great video as always. My question is, what inspires you to write your series? And do you incorporate situations or experiences you've gone through into your stories? What inspires you to write your series? Usually nothing, usually a lot. So, with respect to my fantasy, sometimes while reading another book, I get inspiration. Sometimes while venturing out to different places, I get inspiration. So if I look at the mountain and I see something really strange, it's like, what's going on there? And then my creative brain just internalize things and stories come up, and it's really cool. It may sound kind of crazy, but that's the reality of it. With respect to my regular fiction stories, such as the Bittersweet Summer series, it's usually like from talking to people, from reading stuff online, looking at memes even, and it's like you see things happen to people, you hear things happen to people, and you try to figure out, well, what's this all about? What's going on? And it really sheds some light in the situation as well when I internalize it. For example, my second story, and I think I'll be answering your second question, which is, and do you incorporate situations or experiences you've gone through into your stories? Yes, I do. So, for example, the Bittersweet Summer series, the second story, To the One Standing in the Dark, I incorporated a lot of emotions into it, a lot of experiences. Experiences, I would say, more emotional. So, I've incorporated people's personalities, like general personalities you see all over the place that you're accustomed to. So reading that story may seem very normal, but it isn't at the same time. It's an experience I've been through with people, and it was a way to, get it out. I can't really give too much away because of me deleting the story and the plans I have for it. So I can't really go in depth there. But yes, I do incorporate situations and experiences, and it's also like a therapy for me. It's a method of me getting emotions out of me. Like how singers would write about their experiences and their feelings, it's the same thing for me. So, yeah, I hope I answered it. Yeah. Okay, so Max Mr. Evanescence, I wish you all the best. Thank you. You're really great. You're a really great friend. I appreciate it. And thank you for all of your support. Um, Another person, Doodle Dick. Okay, I know I answered. I know I answered all of these questions. Like, I'll answer them. Okay, it's a great question. Thank you. I will answer it in my Q&A. So, yes. Game of Thrones review, please. No. And I don't mean to be harsh, but no, because I started looking at Game of Thrones a couple of years ago when the first season was out. I looked at the first three episodes, but within the third episode, I couldn't really get into it. I couldn't move on into that series. And because of that, I felt like I can't really invest myself and my money into this books because I just have like this huge wall between me and that series, and I don't have the energy for it. I'm sorry. Okay, so two more questions. Candice Alaska. So Candice, thank you so much for your support. You're a great friend. You're my coworker, and I couldn't have done all this editing and stuff. You showed me so much. I learned a lot. So thank you so much. I don't think you even remember asking this question. I know you. But here it is, the answer to your question. So, Candice, my question is, what is your writing process like, and what inspired the story? So again, this question was posted on the video where I talked about my first novella, To the One Who Broke My Heart. What is your writing process like? My writing process is generally very chronological because I cannot write random scenes and it's very hard to put them together afterwards. I do write random scenes though, but not as much as maybe other writers would. So I would probably write one or two max random scenes. And I already know that, okay, this is gonna go at this particular point in the story. So I put that aside until I reach that point where I can revisit that scene that I wrote and, write it better, make it however better I could. So that I think that's my writing style. So chronologically, yeah, that works best for me. And what inspired this story? I think I answered this because Alex asked the same thing, but I will say it again. What inspired this story? Experiences, people talking to me about their relationship problems. Sometimes while looking at a show, these things come about. Characters just pop into my head, and that's what inspires me a lot. Really, it's a huge drive for my writing as well. Okay, so Kasha, this is the last question by Kasha. Any advice for someone who wants to write but doesn't have experience or know how? My advice is, if it is you're very passionate about it, I would advise that you do go for it, whether you think you're terrible at writing or not. And that's because I believe everyone starts at point zero. I don't think you're born with you're kind of born with it, but it doesn't manifest itself until you actually, dive into it. So that's why I say everyone starts at point zero. You have to start at somewhere, and this is your somewhere. So my advice with respect to writing, if it is you don't know how to, read a lot more. That's my first advice. You need to read a lot more. And I would advise that you read different genres. So fantasy, fiction, inspirational books. Those things help. And from there, you would find what you really like, and what your writing style should be like. And because writing style for fantasy is totally different from fiction and vice versa. So you have to find that first. I would also suggest that you do writing prompts. So, like, you can start with Google. Google is everyone's best friend. You can type in writing prompts, They can give you like a writing prompt for 500 words where they give you a sentence and you have to continue that sentence. So it tackles your brain as well, in the sense that you can write your own story. They give you a startup and then you finish it. Writing prompts also give you like scenes. They tell you, okay, this guy is walking down the road. What happens next? Kind of thing. So it really tackles your creative side as well. But it may differ from fantasy to other fiction stuff. So I guess, and since you're a beginner and I feel like you want to write, I think you shouldn't limit yourself right now. You should do both fantasy and fiction and stuff. So go with that. It really helps because I love fantasy. Fantasy is like the core of my writing, and but I've actually written far less fantasy as compared to regular fiction, and it works. It's a really great break between the fantasy. So that works for me, and I would suggest that you do writing prompts on an overall scale. It would help. So I think that's the end of all the questions. Thank you guys so much for your questions. They were great questions. I have to admit that they were really great. I didn't expect to get any questions actually. I didn't expect to get really in-depth questions as well. So thank you guys so much. I actually wanted to do a longer video, but I feel like the other topics should go separately because I don't want to make this video too long. So thank you guys again for sticking with me. 2018 has been a up and down year in all aspects, and YouTube has been one way of me getting it out as well. Particularly the fact that I was able to find solace in talking about these books. So now that I'm comfortable with YouTube and will be like talking about stories I read, I have to now probably go back to all the books and read them and talk about them, which is great. I don't mind, but newer books I have to give them first preference. So you guys would be in the loop of everything. Yes, so before I end this video, I would actually like to give a huge special thanks to one of my best friends. I don't think she would like to be mentioned, her name that is, but I really wanted to give a huge thank you to her because she is the one who edits my stories. Anything I have to write and I need to edit and post, she does that for me. She edits a lot, and then she sends it to me. I would reread it, do my edits and whatnot, and we would discuss as we go along. So I would like to thank you so much. You know who you are, and thank you for being a great friend as well. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you again for everything. You guys have been very supportive. I would like to wish you guys a happy new year, and I hope it all goes well for you all. We don't know what's in store, but one day at a time, guys. So take it easy and be safe. Okay, bye, story timers. Until next time.